Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Matthew here with Crescent Bell doing a self-graded card review of a 1998-1999 Upper Deck Living Legend game action, technically the silver parallel, numbered out of 230, Michael Jordan. It is the second time we've been grading a similar card as this. Previously, you can kind of remember we did this card. It is still up on the eBay page. The cost has a little bit higher premium because it is out of 230, so you can kind of see here a bit of the subgrades. Centering, we gave this one a 9.5, and you kind of see the space between the right and the bottom. We'll take a look. It looks like it's a very similar centering right there, so probably a 9.5 on the centering for this one. Edges, this got a 9, but the you might see on this bottom left edge has a bit of a indentation. So I think sometimes I do what's called a blind grade. This grade is going to be a little bit more using Grok AI. It gave in between an 8 and an 8.5, and I agree with that for the subgrade on the edges. Corners got a 9.5. This will probably get in between an 8.5 and a 9.5. And then surface 9. This might be getting a 9.5 surface. So we'll see here in a second. We will take a closer look. Quick disclaimer, any card, that card, this card, all cards, I cannot guarantee that they will cross over at the grading companies at certain grades. I can't guarantee it's going to increase or decrease the monetary value of the card. What I can say, it's my best assessment at giving the condition of the card. I had somebody made a comment on YouTube recently, and thank you for comments. And it's great when you say positive things. It's okay if you say, slightly argumentative or like a disagreeing comment, like, hey, I don't agree with that. I want like open discussion. It's time where we get more, the whole hobby, the whole kind of, subculture gets more aligned with how standards are across the board. And if one person's saying one thing, another person says another, that's the subjective nature of grading. But if we can try to align more on the standards of what a 8.5 is compared to a 9.5, it's a pretty big difference. When you go to get it graded, it comes back and then you can sell it. It's a big difference. So I want us to, constantly be like kind of fact checking, double checking. If I say something you don't agree with, that's okay. And feel free to have that discussion. But somebody said something real nice recently, and that's great too. They said, I love these videos. I recently graded, it was a, I think 1996-97 Fleer base Michael Jordan card, Fleer metal. So they were like, hey, I loved your videos. I graded this card and I got a 10 out of it. Now, I don't believe it was the card that I sold them. I believe and maybe it was another card that I sold, and that was the video they were commenting on, but they had a copy of a Jordan card. They watch the video to kind of see a little bit of the standards that go into it, and then they send theirs off for grade and they get a 10. Now that's great, and that's kind of rare too. Like, getting 10s is not easy. I don't want that to be the expectation. If you watch my videos and now you know everything and you'll get all 10s. No, there's a lot of subjective graders out there that a 10 at one grading company is not a 10 at another. So I apologize for the subjective nature that is grading. I use Grok AI. It's an AI agent on Twitter/X to cross-reference, and then I'll cross-reference these cards up against the other grading companies to try to get to a consensus. To me, that's the closest thing we can cut through all the subjectivity, by getting to a consensus on the grade of how many people are leaning in this direction. So that's what I try to do. Centering for this card, we can already kind of see that had very similar centering as the last one, and I agree again that amount of space from the right to the bottom, and then we can also kind of look at this back, and you kind of see the corner here that we were talking about earlier, a little bit of a damage on that back corner, but you can kind of measure that G14. You can also measure the logos down here. So yeah, centering 9.5, which was in our last video for the similar card. So 9.5 for centering. Now the corners are probably going an 8 on the corners. And then we were also saying on the edges 8.5. And we'll take a closer look at the spot in question. A closer look at it. So you can kind of see there on that edge, there's a bit of wear down there. But really, I think like the corner back here, we're giving that an 8. We're giving this edge an 8.5. Other edges have a lot of just clean sharpness to them, not a lot of issues on the other part of the edges. So yeah, I do think that the edges are in slightly better condition than that back corner that we're giving an 8 to, but the other corners are in really good condition. So there's really just one back corner, and that is taking it down to an 8. So now let's take a look at the surface, and there is a bit of this shine to it, but we're looking for micro scratches. You can kind of see a few fingerprints going on here right now that need to be buffered out. But what we're looking for is imperfections, dimples, micro scratches, indentations, creases, any flaw that can happen on the surface of the card. And I'm not seeing anything, which is really nice on that front surface. Did not see any issues. Let's see if we can find anything on the back. So I'm thinking this is a really nice surface. It's in between a 10 and a 9.5. I'm going to go 9.5 on the surface for this one. So we have two 9.5s, an 8.5, and an 8. So I'm going to average out the 9.5 and the 8.5, and we'll get a 9. I'm going to average out the 9 and the 8, and we're going to get an 8.5. And then I'm going to average out a 9.5 and an 8.5, and overall we'll get a 9. And to be honest, that is the most accurate grade I can give this card. This card is in a little bit better condition. There's no corners with that kind of severe wear. The surface is the only thing that's kind of at this top. If you've watched this video or other videos, you can kind of see a little bit of, and that's sometimes just how the card is. It might not even be. I would like to see more, but I think this surface on this card is the largest drawback. We gave it a 9, and I would put it not in the super pressing category, but these are two very expensive cards. They're in the several $100 range. I think we started at 800. We're at like 6 something right now on this one. And this one will probably start at like 6 or 500 because this started off this is a 9.5 and that's a 9. So the grade itself also impacts the grade that we end up with it. But hey, thank you for watching. Continue to watch. Next up, I guess what we have coming up, what we can kind of talk about is some other Jordans, and then we're going to get into some Dennis Rodman cards. For other Jordans, we're going to do this. We've done it, I think, 2 or 3 times before, the Scoring Kings. Then we're going to do 2 Fleer Metal Nuts and Bolts. So very excited about those. Dennis Rodman, the Skybox, and then Fleer Metal Rodman coming up in the next bit of videos. But yeah, continue to watch. Thank you for watching. This card came out at a 9 with the centering 9.5, edges 8.5, corners 8, and surface 9.5. Thank you for watching, and continue to watch. Enjoy yourself. Thank you.